Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Pat again from Small Room Productions. Hope the music's going well. Got another plugin today that we're going to be going over. It's going to be the CLA 76. Now this plugin is an awesome plugin. It's made by Waves and it's emulating actually the 1176 hardware. If you're not familiar with the 1176, it's a very famous, well-known piece of hardware that a lot of engineers and producers, musicians, everyone use. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you about what makes it so special, and on top of that I'm going to go through all the features that this plugin in particular has. Okay, now let's start with this 1176. As I said, it's a very well-known piece of hardware used on countless records, used by countless producers, and Chris Lord Alge, famous engineer, decided that he wanted to work with Waves to create his own 1176. So if I understand the story correctly, they took some of his 1176 that he had and essentially captured the sound of it, so that way you kind of have a copy or an emulation of what Chris Lord Alge's 1176 sounds like. Now the great thing is there's actually two versions of this, that when you buy this it comes with both. So you have the blackie version or the bluey version, which is going to be this one. Now the great thing is each one of these actually have two different sounds. So the one here with the blue ribbon and the metal faceplate is going to have a slightly different tone than what the blackie is going to be, and the functions work a little bit different. Well, actually a lot the same, but the input and drive is going to be, that's what's going to be different. So let's go ahead and go through the controls, because this doesn't look like your normal compressor. Unless you're familiar with the 1176, you might need a minute to spend on this piece of hardware to understand how it works. So starting off the bat, you have your input, you have your output. That's pretty basic. You have different filters here. You can actually turn the filter off if you'd like to. Some people do. I don't know if you can kind of hear in the background, but there's a noise going on. So here, I'll just stop talking. You can maybe hear it. So yeah, you could maybe hear that or not. Now you have your attack and a release. Now you're probably looking at this, what's this 1 through 7 kind of situation? Well, the reason that it's set up like this is that when the dial turns towards the 7, it's going to be a quicker response time on the audio passing through it, and then the opposite for when you go towards 1. So it'll be a slower response time. So that's how the attack works, and the release is the same. Quick release time, slower release time going towards the 1. Now your ratios, you have 5 different kinds. You have 4 to 1, 8 to 1, 12 to 1, 20 to 1, and then you have all. Now what is the all? Back on the original 1176, you could actually do a little trick where you push all the buttons in at the same time, in which it would absolutely decimate and crush your audio, making it completely distorted, which made its own unique sound again. So the hardware itself, just using one of these regular formats here of ratios, had its own sound. You know, just running audio through the unit alone just changed the harmonics of it. By doing this though, you can go ahead and even take it a step further. That gives the 1176 another different signature sound that it has. So very great stuff. You have here, which is going to show you if you're clipping or not. It's going to turn red. You can click it on and off. You also have showing you your different meters, so how much gain reduction you're doing, input, output, and then turning off the compressor. You also actually no, that's all the functions for it. I mean, you do have presets over here. You can save them. You can go back and forth between them and to see whatever you'd like to do. So what I'm going to do is this. I have some screams here because I work with a lot of heavy music, and I'm going to go ahead and mess around with the dials a little bit to kind of get a tone going. Actually, I already messed around with it a little bit, so I'm going to just bring it back to default. I am going to bring the output down though, because I know generally when I put this plugin on some audio, it generally cranks up the volume on it. So I'm going to start low, and we'll go from there. So here we go.
We'll find our way. We'll find our path. We'll find our way. This time we hit restart. We'll find our way. We'll find our path. We'll find our way. This time we hit restart. We'll find our way.
Alright, so very general setting that I have going down for these screams. Sounds pretty decent, sounds pretty cool. Now, here's the thing that you do want to know about this compressor. It's generally known as a very aggressive compressor. It is great for when you use it on vocals, for drums, and when I'm talking about drums, a lot of people typically use this for mainly three components. A lot of people use it for kicks, snares, and definitely rooms. When I'm talking about using this all button, that's where a lot of people tend to use that all ratio on the room mics, because what it does, it just crushes everything, and then you hear all the ambience that's going on in the room. So now this isn't just limited to only those different sorts of instruments or pieces of the drum. You could use on pretty much everything and experiment with it, but just know when you're using this compressor, it's going to have its own certain sound. Now let's go ahead and just hear what it sounds like with the bluey side on.
We'll find our way. We'll find our part. We'll find our way. This time we hit restart. We'll find our
Alright, so the bluey does react a little bit differently. If you looked here, it looked like it was doing a little bit more compression. I actually like the sound of how this sounds on the bluey version, so always give it a shot. Whenever you're working with this compressor, know that you have two versions and two different flavors to work with. So go ahead, go back and forth and see what you like the best. But yeah, this is going to be my demonstration on the CLA 1176. I hope you like this video, and more videos coming out later. Have a great day.